Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and a 40 unit saves version. We're playing as the Poland-LIThuanian Commonwealth, and we've just made our move against Sweden into Finland now. And we've also made a move against the former holdings of Denmark towards Sweden on the other side. So we got armies on both their flanks. And so we're going to get on to the next turn as soon as I take care of a few little details. And one of those details is we have about 700, a little over 700 coin available for an upgrade. We're going to get this farm upgraded right here. And that's about all we have to worry about money-wise. There are a couple of priests, one of which is already in good position, but I would like to get this other one down farther south, and I believe the good place for it right now is in Bosnia. So that's where we're going to get him a marching, if that's what these priests do. And it's a good place for us to start converting. It's only a measly 21% Catholicism level here versus 73% Islam and 4.5% Orthodox. So we got plenty to convert over here. We'll see if he's up to the task. The only other thing I was really looking at was my rakes, because my other missionary is in fine position. But if we start looking at all my rakes now, I think, to be quite honest, I think I want to keep you here for eyes in Alsace-Lorraine like we are. I like having, we want to keep our eyes in Finland where we're headed. And I do like the idea of staying visible in France. Maybe we can come this way just a tiny bit to make sure there's nothing else down there. Other than that, Sweden, we do definitely want to keep our eyes on the capital. Everybody seems to have vacated the immediate capital area. Let's take a little stroll over here. Not really seeing anything, much of anything around the actual capital. So maybe that's telling us they're sending armies to reinforce Finland. We'll find out when we get active over there. Not too worried, as we have a couple armies. And then we're going to keep this rake here just to keep our eye on these two Ottoman Empire armies, because as you know, they're sending a ship back in this direction, and since it didn't turn up here to go blockade our port, I'm thinking it may be coming over here. We may see another army go on board the transport, and then we got to worry. So if we see this happen the middle of next turn, we're going to have to react. Probably try starting a little better late than never kind of a thing in Austria. So we have another little force down here to kind of blunt their move, potentially against our exposed underbelly there. So that's what I'm thinking there. Other than that, we haven't really popped in here in a while, just so you guys can touch base. Our income expected is just under 15,000. Everything is good as far as taxes go. We keep them low to encourage growth, and growth has been happening the way the cities have been popping up. Ministers are still strong. Nobody's died on us recently. And finally, all the trade is good except for Great Britain, where we got a little bit of I think it's the Norwegian Navy that's doing a little harassing over here, causing us to not get the maximum dollars from Great Britain. Other than that, I think that's pretty much how it gives you a good overview, and we're going to move on to our next turn. Now, prestige-wise, just another fun little thing that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot in the course of the game, but we're leading the way in enlightenment, which just tells me that we are researching faster than anybody else. Our economics growth, we've done some great upgrades both in research and then in actual buildings, so our economics is leading the way. Obviously our Navy is not. We started with no ports to begin with, so that's to be expected. And our military is now second only to the military of Russia. So we're making some good progress here. I'm excited about all that. So now we're going to hit that next turn button, see where these guys head, and see what excitement the next turn brings us. We'll see you on the other side. All right, so what we have here is the opportunity for our ship to join against the Swedes. It's really not in our interest. Our navy is so weak, and we're outnumbered. They have a 5th rate, a 6th rate, a sloop, and a light galley. It's basically saying we're outnumbered, and the Russians only have a 6th rate. So yeah, I don't think this is one we're going to intercede on at this time. All right, and we have a new rake, just what we need. We got rake, so many rakes I don't know what to do with them all, but there we go, we have a rake. Our port has been blockaded, so that was what I wanted to tell you. Mid-turn, the Ottoman Empire did not go to pick up an army. They decided to detour back up and blockade our Austrian port, so that's probably going to hurt our income a little bit. And in fact, income, as you can see down here, is just over 8,000 instead of close to 15,000 that we were predicted, all because of that move. It hurt. And we have a successful mission here where we are still embedded. That's good to know. And there's our, well, somewhat meager construction report, but we're still at least growing a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is take this army here. They did manage to send a unit. It looked like it came down the road, so maybe he was off to the side and he was able to curl around enough to come in here and reinforce, but still, we vastly, I mean vastly, outnumber them. So we're going to get this army moving. One thing I want to do before we do that is I have a couple units that been a little bit negligent that viewers have wanted to be named, and I've kind of overlooked that a little bit. Well, since this army is going to be the one in battle coming up with a very nice general, as a matter of fact, we're going to pick one of our line infantry out of here that's been requested. Let's find one with some good chevrons down here. Well, actually, the best is actually grenadiers, but the specific request was for line infantry, so we got several to choose from with a couple chevrons, and that's just what we'll do. The 9th Regiment of Foot is now going to be renamed. Okay, the Texas Foreign Volunteers, Texas being just a thought in somebody's eye at this time in history. I should say a thought in somebody's mind at this time in history, but Texas finds a way to make itself seen, make itself known, and it is in this army right here, and we're about to advance on the capital of Finland, controlled right at the moment by the Swedes. Let's go see what we can do about that. Uh-oh, and you know what I did? Those Texans, boy, they're something else. They're so brave. He charged off on his own. Let's make sure we hold them in place while the rest of the army catches up. They just can't keep up with these guys. These Texans are all get up and go. Okay, here we go. Now let's commence the attack. And I'm sure they accepted a surrender, so we don't even get ourselves a battle. Oh, what a disappointment. I figured with an army in there, there's no way they would not come back and try to defend it, but no, they moved out. And it does give us sight of the whole of Finland, and there are some armies out here that need to be dealt with. Fortunately, I have a follow-up army here that can keep this army from doubling back and doing any harm to us, and we can hold our own against that army, I do believe. So we're going to position ourselves right here, and we're going to see about catching up those howitzers a little by little to give that army a little different flavors than some of the rest. And I'm going to find out, and one thing else we know, our rake is embedded in the town and not with the army. So how about we take a look at our rake and tell him to go to do the job we expected him to do in the first place. and infiltrate with the army. Now, he might be infiltrating, and he was successful. For all I know, he's infiltrating the manufacturing center, but let's hope he's infiltrating the army, because that's really what we did want. I am going to... Yeah, I cannot follow up. I do not have the range with this army to move any further and move against these units. So what we're going to do is, while we're here in Finland, we are going to tear down the damaged building, and we're going to go for a more civilian side building that's more focused on taxes for us, because I don't need the military builds that this building gives us. So we're going to tear it down and start over. Region has been captured, so we slowly, and we're in good shape over here against what they have against us at the moment. So we're not worried at all. And don't worry, we'll get the Texans into action here soon enough, I'm sure. And I'm thinking, with this army over here, have I got any extra units to get over there to join them? No, I do not. But we're going to wreak havoc on their ports. And in this particular army, we happen to have a couple units of grenadiers. And we have a request to rename some grenadiers. And since this army could potentially be in battle soon, I'm going to make sure we get them named sooner rather than later. All right, they have the most chevrons of any grenadier in this army, so that's who we've chosen to become Pavos Imperial Grenadiers in this army. So welcome to this unit. Hopefully you're going to see some action soon. It'll be tough action, though, against a full stack, against a not quite full stack. So pretty green troops, so we're going to have to hope we hold up in the heat of the battle. But in the meantime, we're trying to entice them out towards us a little bit, and we're going to keep some destruction going. In fact, I did the same thing. I'm going to move the whole army to join you. We're going to stay cohesive. In fact, we're going to move and really threaten these guys. We're going to move to damage the port over here too, to try and keep them from having the economy to react to us. We're going to leave flames and destruction in our wake as we move around, trying to entice them into battle. We'll see how well that works. Speaking of battle, I'm thinking all we'll do up here, I think this is a fairly well-balanced force over here. Yeah, with both cavalry, infantry. I'm just going to buff it up a little bit with some more infantry. We may, actually, let's take a look at recruitment. We may be able to upgrade our cannon a little bit, and so that's what I'm going to do, is give us some upgraded cannon, and we can retire the old cannon once we get it up there. So we're going to build 3 of the 12-pounders, and we're going to finish off with a couple more units of line infantry here to move up and bolster this army just a little bit. And since we don't have an army moving against our soft underbelly, that's the good news. They are blockading our port. That's the bad news. Our projected income is now under 10,000 instead of closer to 15,000 it would have been before. But hey, I can think of worse things. We don't have to worry about recruiting a hastily recruited army to help for some extra protection here in the south. So what we're going to do is, with the remaining funds that we have, I think somewhere down here we do have infrastructure, and there it is right here in Serbia. We're going to pick that. Doesn't leave us with many more funds to spend, except I think I noticed a farm over here earlier. We're going to upgrade that, and our spending is complete. Our missionaries are all pretty much in place now where I want them in the south, and as soon as they help the conversions in the territories they're in now, we'll move them on. We'll keep them busy. We got a lot for them to do down here. And kind of going around checking a few of our rakes, we see no movement here since they did not move the fleet over here to pick these armies up. They're just hanging steady. I think what we'll do, since we did pick up another rake, let's go see if we can infiltrate. And he was detected while acting covertly He has, however, managed to escape. I don't mind pissing them off because we're at war anyway. Alright, so that's it for this turn. We didn't get the battle that was promised us, so we're going to see if we can't chase down some of these retreating units as we go and find ourselves a battle. So let's take our next turn. We'll see you on the other side. Louis XV is back asking for a military alliance, and we are back declining. And we even got Carlos in on the act, and rather than staggering the years that these guys are requesting alliances, it's becoming, it's picking up the pace, and they're doing it in the same year all of a sudden. So Carlos, I'm happy to trade with you, but that's it. All right, we have a chance once again with our lone ship over here to intercept an actual fleet from the Swedes. We're going to pass. And here we go. We got ourselves a challenge, and this is going to be one hell of a mighty challenge. They got demi-cannons just like us. They also have a quick unit of horse artillery also, which comes with some fairly decent stats other than its accuracy of these guns, but they have good range, that's for dang sure, and just some solid units top to bottom. So we did what we wanted. We drew them out, we enticed them into battle, and now with them as the aggressor and the attacker, we're going to find out if we can hold up. The biggest challenge for us will probably be the cavalry. They have light cavalry, they have a regiment of horse, they have dragoons, they have lots of light cavalry, some hussars, more light cavalry. But the only thing I can say is our cavalry is not light. So even though they outnumber our cavalry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regiments, 6 regiments, plus the general. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they only slightly outnumber our cavalry, but most of their cavalry is lighter than ours, and technically shouldn't hold up as well in direct cavalry on cavalry battles. So enough of the chit chat. Obviously I'm putting it off. This is going to be a big battle, nice open field battle, and we're going to have to see if we're up to our first real challenge. So we'll see you down on the battlefield. Okay, here we are. I'm so used to having so many winter battles recently, it feels like, but this is just a nice meandering hills and field kind of battle. This will be interesting. We have no true, hills to actually defend. This will be interesting. This will be very, very interesting. I'm going to, like I always do, we'll set up and then bring you back and review the setup that we've decided on for this battle. All right, we've got our line set. We have various smatterings of reserves in the back. In fact, I forgot one thing. We have I noticed this unit of pikemen is sitting out here, and where they belong is actually right in front of the general's bodyguard, right behind, because it's hidden in these trees. At the crest of a hill, we have some artillery over here. We did not have any out on the significant side of the wing just because of the tree cover and the lack of vision it gives, plus the edge of their deployment zone is there. So I think we're going to handily cover with our placements we have now. All the artillery units, as you see when you get down low, are just over the crest of the hill, so they have unfettered view of any attacks that come at them, especially important for the use of canister. And then finally our last regiment over here is also in such a position with clear vision of the field below them. We're all on a rise here, and since they're supposed to come towards us, they're the attacker. That's what we're going to count on, and we just got to hope our artillery units can hold up to theirs, because they do outnumber us. Although the one unit that outnumbers us is horse artillery, so it's not necessarily the most powerful. Other than that, the pikemen between these two regiments, we got our newest named Pavel's Imperial Grenadiers, kind of guarding the flank, and this regiment for the time being. Each flank also has 3 regiments of horse, and then we got a smattering of reserves as far as secondary line for where we might need extra support along the back, with our other regiment of grenadiers at the moment taking this position behind the wall. So that is the setup. I think we'll probably just move the general's bodyguard off to the side a little bit in case they do tend to bombard artillery. We don't need some follow through onto the general's unit. And other than that, we're ready to go. It all depends on how they set up, and we'll respond in kind depending on how they set up. Ooh, and they are in kind of a weird, funky line formation. So we're early on. I'm gonna get some of us just to bombard in there and see if we can't maximize our casualties. Kind of an embarrassingly awkward setup for the Swedes, and looks like we have them a little bit in retreat with one of their regiments of demi-cannons right off the bat. One thing I was a little tight on here with our deployment zone is we can afford to stretch this line just a little bit and still be able to hold some fire for rank shots. Now we've got some active cavalry moving around on there. We got to keep our eye on that. So if they make advances, especially if they get unusually aggressive, as sometimes they can, towards our artillery units, that we bring forward our pikemen. But right now, no immediate threats on our line, other than they have now set up some of their artillery to bombard us in return. It looks like a lot of the cavalry is coming out to the wing over on this side. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put our flank over here into square formation. We're going to also put our reserve here into square formation. In fact, we're going to do the outside 2 units on the flank into square formation, since they seem to be working over in this direction. In fact, we might as well go, since they're stripping their cavalry, ranging out beyond any infantry support. We're going to set it up for our best chance of success against cavalry. And as we were talking before, we have potentially stronger cavalry than theirs. Yeah, these are light horse units that at the moment we're repelling them, not bringing my own cavalry into the fray. Now if they do continue around, as this unit is, I'm thinking we can see about addressing that. And we got another light horse unit there, and the square formation is holding up. Now, do we have any other attacks or movements against other parts of our line at the moment? Not with such speedy cavalry units as we have over here. So we're set up and addressing things over here. We're going to see about attacking with our own cavalry. In fact, since they have 2 units over there, we'll get our 3rd regiment of horse over here to support the activity on the flank. Right now in the center, we're just trading artillery shots, trading artillery fire, as the rest of the line starts forming up for battle here pretty quick. And we seem to have driven off the first, almost the first rounds of cavalry attacks. And with there being light cavalry over here, I would like to think that we have the advantage. So we're going to let our cavalry duke it out over here. As a matter of fact, our reserves now, we're going to get back into line formation. In fact, the whole line on this side, we're going to get back into line formation. except this final unit on the wings, just in case for whatever weird reason things deteriorate over here. But I would think we have the cavalry units, even though it's kind of a blobby kind of battle. We have the cavalry units that are better at melee, and we do see their numbers going down excessively compared to ours. And let's keep our eyes over here on the line infantry, lest they make a move like they're doing right now against our center. And we gotta change the canister quickly. It might be too late. We got our grenadiers firing to help support the artillery over here. In fact, we're gonna charge out some cavalry. Not what they're designed to do, but I need to kind of buffer what they're doing against us over here. They've caused us to retreat in the center. We're going to have to fill with our grenadiers here in just a moment. In fact, we're going to try for some shock value over here to see if we can't drive them off. Since they were able to take out our demi-cannons here, we'll use our grenadiers to try and force some casualties over here. Pavel's unit helped us out. Let's see how many more rounds we can get. He's doing a lot of square formation over here with our cavalry tied up right now. In fact, I'm going to withdraw the cavalry, because other than that, our line should hold up okay at the moment. It's really close and bloody for the time being, but we're holding at the moment. They charged us hard. Boy, did they charge us hard, and they took out a lot. In fact, we got pikemen here that I missed. I did not see these cavalry come in here. This is their dragoons that got through and escaped my eyesight. So we're going to bring up pikemen, and we're about to lose all of our artillery here. We're going to fill in the gap with some line infantry here. And what we're going to do with our cavalry, yeah, it looks like that's our artillery units. We're going to bring our cavalry out to the wings. Just now that we've blunted their attack, and they are hitting our line good in melee. So what we're going to do is we're going to advance a little bit closer, try and give some more direct support up here to this line, because they do at this point appear to be outnumbering us. Now where have what I'm trying to find is where did my grenadiers get to, and here's where they did get to. Trying to see if we can get off a round of grenades over here, but it looks like they are in hand-to-hand combat. In fact, we're going to give them support. They are vastly outnumbered. We're going to send another regiment in there to support them, even though they are holding their own. Look at this. The Imperial Grenadiers have lost a third of their number, but they're hanging tough against the Swedes, who outnumber them right now. So what have we got going here? We got our pikemen that have addressed their come forward and address. We've taken heavy casualties against our artillery, and now it is time to get our cavalry in gear, because we've basically knocked them back, and it's time to continue the process. Our lines are holding, and if we can get our cavalry out here to do some running down, perhaps they won't return as a major fighting force. We got some, that's our demi-cannon, excuse me. Okay, we're going to bring our units here back in line to plug the line. They're battle worn right now. These guys need a rest, especially Pavel's Imperial Grenadiers, which held this section of line against some vast numbers moving against them. Let's start sending in cavalry on some isolated units that are starting to reform. See if we can keep them disrupted before they're able to reform. We'll have to keep our eyes on that, because if they start reforming too much, we'll quickly and easily get outnumbered. And who have we got over here? We got our cavalry units over here. Let's get around this unit. And with what we've got on the wings here, we're going to get into line formation, and we're going to start advancing with some of our reserves to help reinforce over on this side of the line. Okay, we've got the cavalry into the rear. We're going to start coming up on, they're moving up their demi cannons, and now is the time with them being extremely unprotected. And we'll keep our pikemen going against them to try and keep them from reinforcing our charge with our cavalry. Because the rest of our cavalry units are fairly spread out, fairly isolated. In fact, we'll go against this regiment of horse now. In fact, we'll pull this unit since they've changed to square formation. We'll see about pulling them out also. And we've got them disrupted here, so we're just going all out against this regiment of horse that has fairly good strength and is not folded yet. We're going to keep moving against these artillery regiments and knocking them out of the battle. And then we can refocus on running down their units. Now what have we got here? We got our pikemen that have really worn themselves out. We're going to retreat them. They've done their job. And we got another unit of artillery that we've somehow skipped. We got to move back here and finish the job before they destroy us. And what have we got here? I would prefer, guys, that we do not go in against square infantry and square formation, which is ideal counter to our attack. So let's pull off. Continue running down. These guys can retreat, so any running down we can do will help us in future engagements. We've knocked out their artillery. We're going to send our cavalry to the rear now to stay away from these line formations in the front. And the way we're going to counter is we're going to start advancing. And those parts of our line that have hung tough, the pikemen will stay in reserve. Some of our units have been hit amazingly hard. But we're going to keep moving forward to try and prevent them from reforming in any significant manner. And keep our cavalry running them down. In fact, we're just going to bring our cavalry in here. It's a lone unit that's extremely depleted. Let's see if we can get the charge into them before they can form in any kind of formation and shock and take them out. Okay, regiment the horse here. We're going to bring them down into the rear over here. What have we got here? More demi-cannon soldiers. We need to halt here. We're almost up to them. We need to start firing on these guys is what we need to do. As we start picking off these remnants that are remaining on the battlefield. And just about all of them looks like all of them are running. Let's get our general out here supporting destroying their retreat. And that's the end of the battle. So we held tough. We took some heavy losses in certain parts of the line, but we had enough depth to come forward and take them out. So it is victory. I was thinking we would be able to hold them off, and we did. The good news is they were the attacker. We could sit back a little better, but they really formed some kind of massive attack in the center. I'll tell you that, that we had to overcome. So I'm going to continue running down, and we'll come back when I'm all done with that. All right, and so we pulled out a close victory on this one. In spite of being outnumbered, we managed to grab the victory. All right, victory, and we lost 2,378 men versus their 5,695. We have twice as many men remaining after that battle, and we had some tremendous results and some tremendous efforts on the field. Even though our grenadiers right here, and I'm pretty sure this is Pavel's brigade right here. They did an amazing job. They gained multi-chevrons on that battle compared to the other grenadiers that were sitting behind a wall. So good job. They really supported that part of the line practically by themselves, woefully outnumbered at one point in the battle. Pretty amazing. All right, let's look at the results here of what happened. An enemy raid has taken place over here in Finland. Like, we've had a chance to get over here to stop stop things from deteriorating. We will build the infrastructure back up over here. Right now, we will not be able to move the complete army out, but we will make a move over here next. I have a feeling this army, yes, will be able to reach for a battle over here. And also then over here in Denmark, that area, we're going to see if we're going to have it within us to be able to follow up on these remnants. Now that we know we outnumber them, the only problem is, well, we do. We have a couple of our artillery units remaining, and they only have a couple artillery units remaining also. So no longer do they have the overall advantage in the artillery department. So I'm feeling good that we've decided to replace and rebuild some artillery over here. That's encouraging. Let's get through the rest of this. A successful mission, so we're continued to be embedded over here. We've gained recruitment in Brandenburg. We just got to wait for that artillery. We got some new towns emerging. This is over in Vilnius, Lithuania. We have a body house. We have, do we have a church school? We have a college. And although I think religion-wise, we're in pretty good shape, but not perfect. So I think we are going to just, for the time being, and we can always change it down the road, we are going to put the church school over here to finalize the conversion once and for all. Good construction report. We got some more roads going. Roads are really coming along well. As a matter of fact, in Finland, I didn't get the chance to look at what kind of roads we're dealing with on the infrastructure here, and they are maxed out on their roads there. So road-wise, thank you, Swedes, for doing such a nice job for us. And history-wise, the mercury thermometer was developed, and we'll scroll through that in case anybody's interested in taking a peek at a little history while we're battling things out. And what I'm going to do at this point is I think we had a big battle, unexpected battle, but I didn't do a good job of noting my time when I started. So I think I'm going to play it safe so we don't run too long and call the battle here. For next episode, potentially, if they all go quickly, we have a battle here coming up in Denmark, and we have two other follow-up battles coming up over in Finland. Some of our newly named regiments. First one, our grenadiers, have seen action, and pretty soon over in Finland, I think another one of our viewer named regiments will see its first battle coming up. So so far, thumbs up for the viewer regiments. They performed well in spite of heavy casualties. So This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. Hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed playing it. And thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.